Day 2 of coming out as atheist to my family is very different than what it used to be. I mean, my family had a fantasy expectation that they projected onto me due to how they view morality and how they believe that everyone in this family just automatically defaults to a specific type of belief system, regardless if that's the person's choice or within their consent. And what's sad about all of this is a lot of times if your family and friends have a projected fantasy of what they want you to be or what they assume is who you are, if that fantasy is disturbed or completely eradicated, they can become extremely toxic. Not all the time. I mean, everyone's family is different. But my family in particular, they have an expectation that everyone's going to be heteronormative, nobody's queer, nobody's asexual, that everyone is either going to get married or have a lifelong celibacy choice. And, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being celibate. There's nothing wrong with being married. What's wrong is expecting that everyone is going to do that, regardless of whether or not the person has confirmed that's what they're going to do. And my family, I don't think they have ever thought, at least they've never conveyed to me, if one of their kids wouldn't be religious. I mean, I'm not the first person in my family that came out as religious. But I'm the only person that has rejected religion entirely. And it's going to be one of those uncomfortable journeys. My family is very heteronormative. There's really no margin for error. And yes, as far as I'm aware, we're all straight. And there's nothing wrong with being straight. The way they go about being straight is there's something definitely wrong because of the homophobia and just the disgust for people who aren't heteronormative. That's what's wrong. I think me being different is going to be good for the family. That's not why I came out. That's not my reasons for coming out. But I honestly believe it's going to be a very good thing for the family. Now, they're going to hate it. They're probably going to blame me, or they're just going to completely dissociate and act like, what text? And that's probably what's going to happen. Because that's what always happens in my family. If somebody marries into the family that my parents don't worship or accept, they throw tantrums. And it's not a healthy way to show emotion or influence your kids. If you see your mother have a full narcissistic meltdown after meeting your future sister-in-law, this was back in 2004, it does not create a healthy dynamic. Some conversations should never be done around kids. And if your goal is to turn people against each other, then you got a problem. I mean, my parents tried to turn me against anyone in my family or at church who didn't believe a very narrow version of fundamentalist Christianity. I was very isolated as a child, which is why I think it took me 18 years to have the courage to be different, to actually admit that I like secular movies and books and just enjoy a different type of life. And there's nothing wrong with being similar to your parents, provided it's something healthy. In this instance, it's not. Challenging the status quo of relationships and family can be very emotionally draining. And yes, day 2, my family has still ghosted me. The 2 siblings, well, let's see, the one sibling already knew, the other one ghosted, and one of my brothers isn't in great mental health, so he probably won't be responding anyway. The oldest brother's wife responded. My parents, they might as well have never received the text because they're not actually doing anything about it. I guess I'm at the point where, if you're not even going to be nice enough to acknowledge that you received it and that you're thinking about it, I'm really not sure I want to know these people. And like I said on day 1, the day 1 video, sometimes coming out is realizing that what you feared is true, and that the people you really, really stayed in the dark for so long for are not worth it. Yeah, some parents do come around. They get over it. They realize that whatever they believed in is utter horseradish. But a lot of parents don't. My parents, based on their past experiences, are probably thinking they're a parental failure because another one of their kids decided they didn't want a specific religion. And you might be thinking, what do you mean a failure? My parents believe that if you don't believe exactly the way they do, and you're not going to heaven, that they were a failure as a parent, and that they failed you. Even though all of my siblings aren't in prison, they live great lives. I have a professor, x-ray technician, pastor, janitor, and I'm a supervisor in home health care now. We're all thriving. One of my oldest sibling has 5 kids. My youngest brother, well, he's 3 years older than me, but he's the youngest of 3 brothers. He has 3 kids. We're all thriving. We have great lives. But just because we don't believe in 1 out of 100,000 religions, or my parents failed me, it doesn't make sense at all. But that's the way toxic people may look at a situation. I mean, if you grow up in a family where everyone's a doctor and one of the kids decides they want to be a lawyer, the parents will think they failed you. Even though the lawyer might be making more money than the doctor with a lot less student loans. It really does not matter. It doesn't matter what your parents think, what your siblings think, what anyone thinks. As long as the people I work for, and I have respect for myself, all respect me, who cares? I mean, I'm not asexual because I'm single. Just because I've never had a romantic relationship or gone out on a date doesn't mean I'm anything but what I am. I just focus on my career and my interests instead of having a family. Seeing how happy my family was isn't making me run out to join the group. And you just have to mourn, let go, and basically bury your old self and everyone who can't or won't be what they're supposed to be. Mature, supportive, loving, healthy. Sometimes it's just not in the cards and you lucked out, and family isn't about blood. Family is who really accepts you. What kind of people and which people do you feel safe being yourself? That's who your family is. And some people, the only family they have is their partner. Sometimes it's an old girlfriend. Some people, it's a coworker. Family accepts you the way you are and loves you while you try to be the best version of yourself. If your family can't or won't be the bare basics, the bare minimum of what an acceptable family looks like, then they've done you a favor in that they've shown you their true colors, so you don't waste your life trying to make miserable people that can never be pleased happy, because they're incapable of it. Happy people don't want you to change who you are if that's who you really are. Healthy people don't force you or punish you for being who you are. They don't do that. People who are healthy for you earn your attention, your respect, and give in healthy ways. My family gives me very little in return. And I have to mourn that and move on. And some of the damage of coming out and being ghosted is that anytime someone asks me, have you come out yet? And I say yes. And how is that? I mean, the first thing I'm going to say is, I was ghosted by my family. And no matter what my family does in the future or apologizes, doesn't remove that reaction. And sometimes if you miss a milestone, if you choose to avoid or not be a part of something, sometimes you can't get it back. There are moments in life you get one chance. And if you're not there for somebody when they come out, I mean, you can change and accept them later on, but that will always be there. And you don't want that to be there, but it is. So for those people who are wondering, should I come out? Like I said in the last episode, I always recommend people wait until they're financially, emotionally, and physically independent. And if they're still paying for your schooling or your lifestyle, wait. Unless there's a way where you can get away from the financial assistance. And always have a strong emotional support group, because that's really where you'll find your family. Luckily, I've had at least 22 positive responses in the last 2 days. And yeah, it's sad my family is shitty, but a lot of people go through much worse. At least my family isn't giving me death threats or threatening to kill me for dishonoring the family and their religion. And I don't live in a place where it's illegal to leave my religion or come out. So there are positive parts to my steps. And coming out was right for me. And everyone else has to make their own choice based on a lot of variables, pros and cons, and what you want. And your time isn't running out. I mean, you don't have to come out by 30 years of age. It's when you're comfortable. And for some of you, you might not get a choice because you might be outed. And that's not okay. But for people who aren't outed and can choose, you have to decide if living a lie is bearable based on what you get back. And for me, I didn't get enough emotional and financial anything back that was worth my deteriorating mental health and inability to live my life honestly with integrity. But that's my choice. And you have to make whatever choice is right and safe for you. So every day I'll be making videos on the progress. And if there's anything I haven't hit on that maybe when you came out, or maybe something that's holding you back from coming out and you have questions about that, put that in the replies, and I'll do my best to answer those. But my experience is unique, and it's not a one size fits all coming out. Everyone's is different. Luckily, I'm not in a church, and I don't have any friends outside of my family, like physical friends. So, I mean, I don't have to tell 15 friends and all my coworkers. So, it's just my family, and I have one friend. So, it's not as hard as people who have an entire religious community and 250 church members staring at them come Sunday. It's not that extreme. But, day 2, everything's going fine. Ghosting, silence, and avoidance is still going on. But luckily, my oldest brother's wife has kind of reached out a little. And I kind of had a good vibe from them when I met them 15 years ago. So everything is going pretty well. And compared to the drag-out fights and hell-raising arguments I've experienced in 31 years in this family, silence really isn't that bad. It's not okay, it's not healthy, and it's not respectful, but it's much better than having people hurl slurs at me. So, I'll keep you posted on what's going on tomorrow, and each day is an adventure, and hopefully every day gets a little bit easier.